Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're into the football, evidently New South Wales won 150 to 0. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around, and we're going to open the second set. Thank you. Just while I've got your attention, let's thank the incredible team on the sound, ladies and gentlemen. He's the man. And once again, let's thank Carmel Mercedes for getting out of her sick bed and coming along. Thank you, Carl. We're going to open the second set with a tune by Gordon Goodwin again. This is called Count Bubba. Oh, come on! right. Let's hear it for the featured soloist, the alto saxophone. Gentlemen, stand up. And let's have our trumpet player, Sarah, on the trumpet. Awesome. And Henry and Matt just keeping on going. The Daly Wilson Big Band. Now, I used to play it when my dad wasn't home. He had a Pioneer system, and we had, it was turntable, of course. And when they went home, I used to turn up really loud and just lie there. I think it was my first experience of getting high was listening to this really loud music going, man, what is this? This is fantastic. We're going to play one of those pieces now. This is our little tribute to the great Daly Wilson Big Band. And the great writer, Ed Wilson, who I believe recently just lost his beautiful wife, Esther. So we're going to play this music for Ed because he wrote and arranged all of the music for the Daly Wilson Big Band. The first one is called Carger. Good. He's finding his music.
2 seconds, guys. Alright, cool.
This has got to fold it. In grade 3, that's worth a lot of money. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's hear it for Mr. Damon Poppleton. Stand up, take a bow. Okay. Now, if you come on the next gig, which is August the 7th, what date is the next gig, people? 7th. Have you booked your tickets yet? Has anyone booked their ticket? No. Oh, two at the back. Lovely. Yeah. And you turned around. I love that. We've got a beautiful solo that Damon's going to play. So so look forward to that. He's Mr. Flynn. What's it called again? What did you write for your brother to play?
Oh, the nearness of you.
The nearness of you. So you look forward to that. In the meantime, you're going to have to put up with me playing a solo. And they love it because it's kind of poppy. It's kind of 70s pop, and the boys in the band, they don't really understand what happened when there were hearts melting when we played this song. Absolute melting hearts. I've got to find out where I can see. Because they all laughed when I started playing it on Monday, and I was like, oh my God, I was terrified. I thought, how am I going to play in front of these guys? And I thought, you know what I thought? I thought, fuck it. So, excuse me. You can beat that out if you've got it. Did you think it was a bit weird, didn't you? Yes? I mean, the trumpets, Flint's sitting next to me, he's going, oh. So, back in the day, this was a classical. Yes. I don't need any help, I can make a mess on my own. That's what I'm So this is one of those tunes that I, as a young 12, 13, 14-year-old, listened to. And the song was played on the flugelhorn by wonderful legend of Australian music, Mr. Mick Kenny, ladies and gentlemen, who passed away probably 5 years ago now. And he was just a wonderful, wonderful musician. He used to live down at East Balmain in one of the buildings around the ferry. And me and my friend Paul used to go there at night, and he would go, oh, gentlemen, come in. And we would sit there, we would have lovely wine, and he would go, I've decided I'm going to play you some Rachmaninoff tonight. Or he would just play Liszt, or he would play anything. He could play anything. Anyway, on the original On Tour album, he played this solo, and it's called He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. Oh, and I'm not sure if I can still play, but you know.
It's going to make us cry.
I'm going to make you cry? Good.
In a good way.
For my next piece. Ready? 1, 2. Oh, hang on. Sorry. We wait for that. You good, mate? Doing a great job up there on the lead trumpet, ladies and gentlemen. And drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. A new dad. He's got a lovely boy of 3 weeks. His name is Oscar James Powell. Awesome. I think he's the only person in the band that has kids. Is that right? Yeah, the rest of us are all kids. That we know of. Good one, Alec. Yeah, good on you, James. Okay, ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. It only took me 50 years to play that song. You guys weren't even born. Your parents were probably born. Thank you for letting me play that. I love that. Thank you. And I spoke to my 93-year-old mum today and I said I was playing this song and she knows that song and I'm going to send it to her and she'll get it. And so to my mum Dawn, my beautiful mum Dawn, who turns 93 this year. Happy birthday, Mum. That was for you. Beautiful. Okay, enough of the slow stuff. Let's do a little... this song says, as fast as possible. My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, one sec, Greg. Yeah, shut up.
Oh, hang on. I'm just getting myself together. I'm sweating like... Ready? Are you? How's that, Henry? Henry's great.
Wherever's, yeah.
On Henry. How's that, everyone? You good? Strap it in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. gentlemen, we have one more tune for you. Have you had a good night? August the 7th. Now, here's the thing. The greatest thing that I could do is to hand music on to other people. And I teach year 3 trumpet 4 days a week. And you know what? I love it. And it's just like year 3 band, except they can all play, you know. And I want to say before Reese introduces the entire band, well, you know, some of these people, I met Alec, when did we meet?
Oh, like an hour ago?
Yeah, like an hour ago. This is a serious bunch of musicians. Round of applause. Reese, let's introduce everyone.
All right, everyone, before we begin this long process here, I think we're going to have to get a little bit of accompaniment from our rhythm section. Do you want to give us a little something?
Go for the
I think we should change it up for each section too. So I think this is a saxophone kind of beat right here. So on the baritone sax, we have Alec Watts. Tenor 2, that's Noah Major. Tenor 1, we have Justin Yo. On alto 2, that's Peter Corniola. And on alto 1, saving us all from playing at blistering speeds, that's Damon Poppleton. Let's get a little swing there. I think this one's for us trombones. This is us. On the bass trombone, Molly James. On trombone 3, and with a very handsome collar there, that's Tembe Hussain. Sitting next to me on trombone 2, we have Tom Borbillis. My name is Reese Moore. Thank you so much. Smooth transition there. On trumpet 4, that is the wonderful Sarah Purden. Trumpet 3, and on the arranging, we have the master, the maestro, Flynn Poppleton. On the end there, we have trumpet 2, that is Sam Cable. And on all that high stuff up there that we're all blocking out. No, I'm joking. That's James Power. Onto the rhythm section, the guy's holding it down. Do you want to give yourself a little something?
What do we want? New Orleans? Yeah, 1, 2.
I think we'll start with the person closest to you all. That's on the piano there. That's Jacob Jayasino. The man behind the drums, behind the cymbals with the sticks. That's the amazing Matt Simmons. Holding down the 4th there on bass, that's the amazing Henry Juno. Alright, and on the guitar we have the amazing Dan Enriquez. We've pretty much reached the end of the list. I can't believe I remembered all this. We're forgetting a very special guest. Oh, no, we've got one more as well. Carmel Mercedes. She's still around. Carmel! Carmel's suffering from the common cold, which is, she's still absolutely aced it up here, but that's a little fun fact. And we got the man himself over there with the glasses, with a beautiful smile. Oh, there we go. The man co-hosting tonight, and I couldn't be more grateful to, put this on for all, support all the young musicians, and we've got this maestro, and we've got myself, barely able to get in here, but that's the amazing Greg Carger.
Well, I mean, I didn't play much tonight, but I'm worn out, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who had looked at the charts, and you're all perfect, and you're all hired for August the 7th. As long as Reese co-signs. Thank you so much for coming. We'd like to thank Louis and Lamar and all the bar staff, and Tim, our sound man, bar staff. And a few months ago when I wrote to Alex and Craig, who are the owners of here, and I said, I want to put this band together and blah, blah, and it's like, will anyone come? Well, thank you for coming. Of course, at that point I didn't realise that it actually clashed with something else that's going on. But guess what? We've got the cream of the crop here tonight, and I want to thank you and the band very much for making this a most memorable night. And we will see you on August 7th, and we're going to say goodnight with one piece. This is another one of my favourites. They're all my favourites. Sorry. This one is from the pen of Michel Camillo from his big band album, recorded by his New York big band, and it's called One More Once. great solos from Jacob, from Justin, and from Damon. And let's hear it again, ladies and gentlemen. The Carger Big Band, and once more for Carmel. Thank you, coming Carmel. Once more, the Carger Big Band. Thank you, and we will see you on August the 7th. Please bring your friends, and let's hope that we can do this once every couple of months here, and we'll bring to you music that you haven't heard, that you're going to go home and it's going to rattle your bones for the next 2 months. We will see you on August the 7th. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to Lazybones. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Ben.